Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
That line. Well, there are two lines from The Princess Bride that I love.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father.
I didn't know that it would become what it became. Matter of fact, when I first read it, I went, God, I don't have a lot to say, but I say that over.
Imagine a movie line so powerful it stays with you forever, not just as words, but as a feeling
Over again.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
that grips your heart. In The Princess Bride, one line to that from Mandy Patinkin, the actor who played Inigo Montoya, when he said, "I want my father back." It wasn't just a moment in a film. It was a cry from his soul. Years later, when a talk show host asked him, "Did you really feel that pain?" Mandy shared a story that made everyone stop and listen. His answer showed how a single line could carry a lifetime of grief, hope, and healing. Today, we're diving into the one Princess Bride line Mandy Patinkin will never forget, and why it means so much more than you might think. Let's start with The Princess Bride itself, a movie that feels like a warm hug from your favorite storybook. It came out on September 25th, 1987, and told the tale of Wesley, a brave farmhand, racing to save his true love, Princess Buttercup, from an evil prince named Humperdinck. Along the way, he teams up with unforgettable friends like Inigo Montoya and Fezzik, the gentle giant. The movie is based on a book by William Goldman, and it's framed as a story a grandfather reads to his sick grandson. At first, the kid thinks it's just a boring old book, but soon he's swept into a world of adventure, love, and magic that changes how he sees everything. You might think The Princess Bride was just another fairy tale, but it's so much more. Even after 37 years, it's a movie that lives in our hearts, from kids to grown-ups, from the 80s to today. Most movies come and go, forgotten after a few months. But this one, it's like a best friend you can always count on. It's on lists of the greatest movies ever, often ranking in the top 10 or 20, because it mixes humor, heart, and adventure in a way that feels timeless. People love its clever lines, its amazing actors like Cary Elwes, Robin Wright, and Mandy Patinkin, and the way it balances funny moments with serious ones. It's even on the American Film Institute's list of the 100 greatest love stories. One fan on a review site called it a perfect package of fun, with awesome sword fights, clever banter, and a cast that shines. That's why when people heard rumors about remaking it, they were upset. Cary Elwes himself tweeted, "There aren't many perfect movies out there. It'd be a shame to mess with this one." Fans agree. Why touch something so magical? Now, before we get to Mandy's unforgettable line, let's talk about how the cast came together, because it's a story full of surprises. The Princess Bride has a dream team of actors, each one bringing something special to their role. Robin Wright, who played Buttercup, was a young soap opera star when she got the part. Believe it or not, she wasn't even the first choice or the 10th. She told a film festival that she auditioned after 250 other actresses, and she only got the role because she could do a British accent, and the director, Rob Reiner, was tired of looking. At just 21, she had no idea the movie would become a legend. She said, "We didn't expect it to be such a big deal. It wasn't even a huge hit at first." But her performance as Buttercup helped her become a star in movies like Forrest Gump. Cary Elwes, who played Wesley, had a different path. Rob Reiner saw him in a movie called Lady Jane and decided right away he was perfect for Wesley. Reiner flew to Berlin, where Cary was filming another movie, just to meet him. In a hotel room, Cary did a funny impression of a cartoon character and read a scene from the script. Reiner loved his energy and charm. Cary was already a fan of the book. He read it when he was 13 and fell in love with Wesley's character. Getting to play him was like a dream come true. Then there's Mandy Patinkin as Inigo Montoya. His role was offered to him easily, but it meant more to him than anyone knew at the time. Mandy felt a deep connection to Inigo, a swordsman on a mission to avenge his father's death. Other roles had their own twists. Wallace Shawn, who played the scheming Vizzini, wasn't the first choice. Danny DeVito was. But Wallace made the role his own, especially with his famous line, "Inconceivable." And Andre the Giant, who played Fezzik, was the only person the director and writer could imagine for part. Fun fact, Andre was a wrestler, not an actor, and Reiner had to record his lines on tape so Andre could practice them. Every actor brought their heart to the movie, making every line feel like magic. Speaking of lines, The Princess Bride is packed with ones you can't forget. Let's start with the opening scene, where the grandfather, played by Peter Falk, tries to convince his grandson, played by Fred Savage, to listen to the story. The kid's not impressed when he sees the gift is a book. He says, "A book?" The grandfather replies, "When I was your age, TVs were called books." The kid asks if it is sports, and the grandfather says, "Are you kidding?" Fencing, fighting, torture, revenge, giants, monsters, chases, escapes, true love, miracles. That sets the tone for the whole adventure, pulling you in with excitement. Another great moment is when Buttercup gets kidnapped by Vizzini, Fezzik, and Inigo. She's out riding when Vizzini tricks her, saying, "Excuse me, my lady, we're just poor lost performers. Is there a village nearby?" Buttercup, not suspecting a thing, says, "There's nothing nearby, not for miles." Fezzik replies, "Then there'll be no one to hear you scream." It's chilling. Later, Vizzini's planning to frame another kingdom for the kidnapping, and Fezzik doesn't like it. He says, "I don't think it's right, killing an innocent girl." Vizzini snaps back, "Am I going mad, or did the word think come out of your mouth? You weren't hired for your brains, you hippopotamic landmass." That line is so mean but so funny, and it's one fans quote all the time. Vizzini's favorite word, inconceivable, pops up a lot. When they're escaping on a boat with Buttercup, Inigo keeps checking if they're being followed. Vizzini says, "That would be inconceivable." When Inigo spots a boat behind them, Vizzini insists, "It's absolutely, totally, and in all other ways inconceivable." Later, they climb a cliff to lose their pursuer, but the mysterious man in black follows. Vizzini yells, "He didn't fall? Inconceivable." Inigo, fed up, says, "You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means." It's such a perfect moment, and people still use it to poke fun at someone who overuses a word. Then there's the fight between the man in black and Fezzik. Fezzik throws a rock but misses on purpose, saying, "We face each other as God intended." Sportsmanlike. No tricks, no weapons. Skill against skill. The man in black, surprised, says, "You mean you'll put down your rock, I'll put down my sword, and we'll try to kill each other like civilized people?" Fezzik, feeling confident, says, "It's not my fault I'm the biggest and strongest. I don't even exercise." It's a funny, sweet moment that shows Fezzik's heart. Prince Humperdinck, the bad guy, has some great lines too. When his advisor suggests a trap, he says, "I suspect everything could be a trap. That's why I'm still alive." Later, when asked if he wants to watch someone get tortured, he says, "Tyrone, you know I love watching you work, but I got my country's 500th anniversary to plan, my wedding to arrange, my wife to kill, and Gilder to frame for it. I'm swamped." It's such a villainous line, and it's stuck with fans forever. One of the funniest characters is Miracle Max, played by Billy Crystal. When Inigo and Fezzik bring a mostly dead Wesley to him, Max says, "Why would you want a miracle man the king's stinking son fired? I might kill whoever you want me to miracle." When Inigo urges him to hurry, Max says, "Don't rush me, Sonny. You rush a miracle, you get rotten miracles." Then he checks Wesley and says, "Your friend here is only mostly dead." There's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead. Mostly dead is slightly alive. With all dead, there's only one thing you can do. Go through his clothes and look for loose change. Those lines are so silly, and Billy Crystal made them up on the spot, which makes them even better. There's also a sweet moment when Buttercup and Wesley reunite. She's about to end her life, thinking she's lost him forever, when Wesley stops her, saying, "There's a shortage of perfect breasts in this world. It'd be a pity to damage yours." Fans love that line. It's romantic, funny, and a little cheeky, and it's been turned into GIFs and TikTok videos galore. But the heart of this story is Inigo Montoya and the line that changed Mandy Patinkin's life. Inigo's story is about revenge. His father, Domenico, was a sword maker who didn't care for fame or rich clients. When Count Ruggin, a man with 6 fingers, asked for a special sword, Inigo spent a year making it. But Ruggin refused to pay the full price, and when Inigo wouldn't give up the sword, Ruggin killed him. Inigo, just 11 years old, saw it happen and challenged Ruggin to a fight. Ruggin easily beat him but spared his life, leaving scars on his cheeks. Inigo spent the next 10 years training to become a master swordsman, determined to find Ruggin and get justice. In the movie's most powerful scene, Inigo finally faces Ruggin. He says, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." He repeats it over and over, even as Ruggin stabs him and taunts him. Inigo's pain and determination shine through, and when he finally corners Ruggin, he says, "I want my father back, you piece of work." He gives Ruggin the same scars he got as a boy, and when Ruggin begs for his life, Inigo finishes his mission. It's a moment that gives you chills, and that line, "I want my father back," hits you right in the heart. Years later, on a talk show called George Stroumboulopoulos Tonight, Mandy shared why that line meant so much. When Rob Reiner gave him the script, Mandy knew he had to play Inigo. He said, "The minute I saw that part, I never wavered. My mind said, Mandy, if you play this guy and get that 6-fingered man, that's cancer, and if you get him, your dad will come back." Mandy's own father had died of cancer, and playing Inigo felt like a way to fight that pain. He saw Ruggin as a disease that took his father, and saying, "I want my father back," was like a prayer for healing. But there's another line that stuck with Mandy even more. After the big fight, Inigo sits with Wesley and says, "I've been in this revenge business so long. Now that it's over, I don't know what to do with the rest of my life." Wesley replies, "Have you ever considered piracy? You'd make a wonderful Dread Pirate Roberts." Mandy said that when he was 26 and filmed that scene, he didn't fully understand those words. But years later, watching the movie again, he realized they were about moving on after loss. He said, "That line became the line of the film for me and of my life. I didn't even know what I was saying back then." For Mandy, it was about finding purpose after grief, and it's a lesson that stayed with him. So, that's the story of the One Princess Bride line Mandy Patinkin will never forget. It's not just about revenge or a cool sword fight. It's about how a movie can touch your soul and help you heal. What's your favorite Princess Bride line? Is there one that makes you laugh, cry, or feel something deep? Share it in the comments below. If you loved this video, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more stories about the movies we love. Click the next video on your screen to keep the adventure going.